Hi everyone. I sound worse than I am. It's that time of week again. It's coffee and dollies because I have no idea what time it is. I think it's like 9 in the morning and it's Sunday. And I have a Luna Puna here. Hello baby. No, please don't lick my tonsils. And yeah, there's not a huge amount to catch up on. I'm still plugging away at that reroute. Oh, so punny. But yeah, no, I'm seeing progress. I've got a couple more rows and then that edge bit and the thatching to do, which you may not have a single idea what I'm talking about, but you know, just the really annoying hard bits to do. But I've nearly done the bulk of it, so that's always good. As you can see, I'm in my dressing gown and jammies, and I got owl jammies because owlsies are the best. Yeah, the dog's just yawning, being adorable. In fact, you're adorable. Yes. I can't not talk to my dogs. They're the best. Yes, you are. So yeah, I took a little bit of a video of the dressing room in my Blythe dollhouse, and what else? Oh yeah, the absolute clusterfuck that is my craft room. I've got my in-laws coming to stay this week for like 3 or 4 weeks, and so I've had to move all of the junk from the spare room into the craft room. I say junk, it was like spinning wheels and boxes of fibre and yarn that I'd moved out so that I could build my doll's house, you know, and have access to it. So of course now the craft room is full of shit. So that's interesting. What else? Not really a lot. I had to work yesterday and it was Worldwide Knit in Public Day, so I took Opal to work. Some of you might have seen on my Instagram, and we did some knitting at my desk. But mostly I just used the day for cataloguing because I frickin' love cataloguing. Cataloguing's my favourite thing. But I did take photos of her sat in the textiles section. I thought it was appropriate. Although you can really see the titles of the books, so it was a little bit pointless, but it was cute. And then I realised that the tip of her nose is rubbing white because I've been carrying her around in these bags, and I bought face protectors. Do I use them? Of course I don't fucking use them. That would be the sensible thing to do. So now I'm looking at her nose thinking, oh my god, what have I done? But to be honest, I wasn't completely enamoured with the way that her cheeks are. Like, I was having real problems with the pastel adhering to, I don't know if it was the product, because I was using Purity Seal, because at the time that was all I could get, and I'm not sure if it was the US or the UK one. It had a lot of tooth to it, but it seems to have worn off over time, like, so now it's really, really smooth. And I think as you know, if you're not handling often, that's probably fine, but I am wondering, I'm hoping that MSC will work better for if I'm handling it a lot. And I did manage to get some MSC, but you have to buy it from Singapore and get it shipped over here on a boat, because we are in an area that is like 80% water. And the only way to get here is to fly things or to take it by boat. And of course, MSC is not something that you could ship in by air. Ship in by air? Well, I suppose it's an airship. Anyway, so I had to wait like 2 months for it to arrive, which it's okay. I coped. But so far I'm actually quite liking the results of it. It doesn't feel as toothy. But then, as I said, the tooth of the Purity Seal wore off really quickly. And I have been told apparently Purity Seal isn't the right thing to be using, but then again, I read elsewhere that it was, and I heard from a lot of people that it was a really good option if you can't get MSC. So I think my experience says for most of my dolls the purity seal has worked really well, but I have been taking Opal out a lot more than any other, and I have been taking her out in sort of squishy fabric bags and not using a face protector. And I think ultimately if you use a face protector it should be fine, no, pretty much no matter what you use, except Tester's doll coat is gross. It's seriously gross. That was the first one I tried, and like 2 days after I'd finished Tabitha's first face up, it was sticky, it was goopy and yuck, and like I tried to pick off some of the goop and it was just like, I don't know, it's like that kind of greasy fudgy grossness that you get in a kitchen, like where the oil from cooking has mixed with dust and yuck. So yeah, yeah, so I'm not using that shit ever again, no. I do wonder if that's because Auckland is seriously humid, even, well, just all the time it's humid. We get like 100% humidity some days. Seriously, that is like just water. I mean, how are we not actually swimming when it's 100% humidity? It kind of doesn't make sense to me, but I just can't be bothered thinking about that, to be honest. But yeah, it's gross. So I was a bit worried about MSC, and that was another reason why I went for Purity Seal, because I heard and my own experience has shown that it doesn't really have issues with the humidity the same as MSC apparently does. So I'm just being careful to only use it on low humidity, dry days. So yeah, that's my rambling about sealants. I also have some Army Painter sealant that I want to try out at some point. But I don't think mixing them is going to be a good idea. I have heard horror stories about people spraying like MSC over a different sealant and having it go all cloudy and peely and yuck. And I don't want all my hard work to go absolutely to shit, so I don't know if I'll do that. As for Opal's nose, well, it's kind of cute actually. I know that usually the tip of the nose would be redder than the rest, but I kind of like it at the moment, and I guess I'm not bothered enough yet with it to fix it. I have OCD. I get very particular about certain things, so if I have something that I can actually cope with, then I feel like I should embrace that and just, you know, not let it bother me. Although obviously it's slightly bothering me because I've brought it up, but it's annoying, but it kind of adds to her, like she's lived or something. Okay, that's maybe a bit weird, but yeah. I do also, you know, project feelings onto inanimate objects quite a lot, you know, like, oh, that chair looks sad, or don't neglect that book because you know, it's getting jealous of all the other books. So yeah, so it's just one of my little quirks. Oh, both my doggies are asleep and it's so cute. Sorry, I'll stop patting you. Stop giving me this stink eye, Luna. What else? So I've rambled about sealant. I've rambled about the reroute that I'm still working on. There's not really a lot going on, to be honest. Oh, I did finish the dressing room hanging sections. So I've got like a 3-tier hanging rack at the back. This is for the Blythe house, not for my house, because, you know, Blythes have way better clothes and everything than I do. And then I made a shorter one because the one at the back they didn't have big enough gaps for some of the clothing items. But then the other one that I made wasn't quite right either, so I've just stuck a couple of sort of sticky-atty pegs on the wall with, I used my brand new low temperature hot glue gun. And it's like, okay, yeah, obviously it's low temperature, so the glue's gonna harden quicker. But trying to get across the assault course of my room from the plug, of my craft room, from the plug to the doll's house was meaning that the glue was drying before I could stick fucking thing on the wall. That's like, so I had to rethink how I was doing that, and it was really funny, and I was just in fits of giggles. It was quite fun actually, and I'm not sick anymore as such, so that's good. So thank you for all your well-wishing, Danny and Libby and everyone else who told me to get well soon. I am well, and it is relatively soon. So, yay! Yeah, I don't know anymore. No, I think I've run out of words. And my coffee's going cold. And look, it's another Gryffindor mug because my family knows me really well. My sister got me this from like a Warner Brothers place in the Gold Coast, and I didn't even know. Well, I mean, obviously it's Warner Brothers, so of course they have Harry Potter stuff, but I really want to go. And I didn't know there was like a Harry Potter theme park in Japan as well, and I really want to go there, and my friend's going soon. I'm very jealous. So I'm really, really obsessed with Harry Potter. I'm quite sad also because I finished listening to the Deathly Hallows again. So that's like the 20th time I've gone through all the books, reading them. Probably done it more than that, but I lose count. But I listen to the Stephen Fry version while I'm doing craft stuff. And it totally counts as reading because it's unabridged so that you can read along. And I finished it. Now I'm sad and I'm kind of lost and I don't know what to do. So I might restart listening to some Tamara Pierce or something. If you've never read any of her books, they're awesome. She's amazing. Strong female characters, magic, animals, lots of good stuff. Yeah. Okay, well, I'll stop rambling now and I'll maybe catch up next week. Bye! So here is the Blythe dressing room. The rack at the back is the one my husband made for me, and it's okay for short dresses, and I've got quite a few of those, but for longer ones it's not great. So I made another rack, but that's still a little bit short. So I put two hangy uppy things on the wall, but the lighting's kind of awkward so I can't show you very well. And now I'm gonna show you the disgusting state that my craft room is in. So on the floor, this is where I keep most of my Blythe clothes. Yeah, in a big old pile on the floor. And then this is the rest of the floor in my craft room. I've had to move everything in here because we've got the in-laws coming. Please ignore the bathroom, it's a shit pile. Spinning wheels, spinning stuff, bookshelves. I have some pretty cool bookshelves. And look, bunting! And some cool artwork from one of my besties. And my spindle storage. And that's the desk that I wrote my entire research project on, and it's actually tidier than it was at the time of writing. So basically could only move my mouse like 2 inches either side. Yeah, I am a disgusting slob, but that's okay.